Adventures, where each week I'll be your tour guide as we explore the countries of the world from the comforts of home. And where are we headed this week? We're headed to Canada, the world's second largest country and our neighbor to the north. In fact, it's such a close neighbor, instead of taking a plane, we're going to start out by driving. Let me get out our map and our itinerary as we head to the capital city of Canada, Ottawa. Okay, it says here we'll be at the National Gallery in Ottawa when we see the giant spider! Oh, sorry. The giant spider outside the National Gallery. Not what I was expecting for a trip to Canada. I don't know, I thought maybe some Royal Canadian Mounties or a flag with a maple leaf on it, but no. This giant spider greets us at the National Gallery in the capital of Ottawa. Now, with 10 provinces and 3 territories, Canada is a vast country. There are a lot of cities like Montreal and Vancouver, and there's also a lot of towns and suburbs and farms. There's plains where they herd cattle and grow wheat. And there are forests, mountains with lakes. In fact, Canada has more lakes than all the other countries of the world combined. That's bananas. They have temperate rainforests and lots of tundra. Now, all these climates are going to produce a wide variety of animals. We start off with the national animal of Canada, the beaver. Isn't he cute? There's the Canadian goose, the caribou, the bison, the grizzly bear, the beluga whale, the Arctic hare, the moose, the loon, the Canadian lynx, and the polar bear. There are about 25,000 polar bears left in the world, and 15,500 of them live in one town, and that is Churchill, Manitoba in Canada. I gotta see this with my own eyes, and this is a little too far to be driving. So we're gonna need to hop on a plane now. Better pack up. So here we are, right in the heart of Churchill, Manitoba. Now, there are about 900 people who live here with those 15,500 polar bears. So it's against the law to lock your car doors here in Churchill, just in case someone needs a quick escape from the polar bears. They have their own crossing on the street. Wonder if they could read the sign. Hey, wonder if he wants to get on the school bus. I hope not. All right, let's see where we are. We are at this tip, the top of Manitoba. But Canada still has all of this territory. And look, our state of Alaska is way up here. That's something that surprised me, way up north. Okay, so you see up in here, there are some wavy lines. That's because up here in the northern part of Canada, you can see the northern lights. Beautiful to look at. And you know what else northern Canada has? Ice hotels. That's right, hotels made completely out of snow and ice. Even the beds. How cool is that? Neat. Now there are people who've always lived up here in the cold, the Inuit. The Inuit were here long before explorers and settlers came, and they knew how to survive in these harsh conditions. They hunted and they fished, and lived in igloos. But since there were no roads or maps to help them, they devised a system of communication using these, inuksuks, which means standing in place of a person. More on inuksuks later. Now, they no longer live in igloos, they live in homes. This is an Inuit neighborhood in Nunavut. The average temperature here in Nunavut, I can't believe this, I gotta tell you. In the winter, the average temperature is -40. Yeah, -40. And you know what the temperature is on the hottest day in the summer? Around 5 degrees. 5 whole degrees. You know what? I'm getting a little chilly here. I think it's time we head back south. Southern Canada, Quebec. Here we go. Gotta get back on that plane. See you there. Back in southern Canada. Oh, but this time of year, Quebec is really chilly too. Oh, wait, here's some kids. Excellent. I want to say hi to them. Now, I could just say hello. They'll probably understand English, but we are in Quebec. And in Quebec, a lot of people have French as their first language. So, in addition to hello, I might say salut. And their names would just be the kind of names we have here in the United States, like Jake or Emma. And if I asked them what they did for fun, they'd probably tell me exactly what they're doing right now. Hockey. They love hockey. In fact, they love their hockey teams. And everyone can play it. Remember, they have more lakes than anywhere else in the world. And those lakes in those cold temperatures freeze over. Hockey rinks everywhere out in the open. But if I asked them what's going on right now, they'd say I was very lucky, just in time. This time of year, around March, is time for the National Maple Syrup Festival. Now, it's not just one festival, because all of the places that make the maple syrup have their own. And there are about 10,000 places where they make maple syrup. Now, there need to be 10,000 of them because 85% of the world's maple syrup comes from Canada. So what do at a maple festival? Well, you might learn how to tap the tree for sap, gather the sap to bring to where they cook it and make the delicious maple syrup. You might pour some of that hot syrup onto some shaved snow and ice and have delicious maple taffy. And you can eat that taffy while you watch lumberjack games or people flipping pancakes. Or you could just eat the pancakes covered in that freshly made maple syrup. Before you go home, you might want to take a horse and sleigh ride. And don't worry, if the place you go to doesn't have a horse, maybe they can improvise. Wow, it was sure fun visiting Canada, but I'm hankering to go home. Luckily, we're still in Quebec, and that's not a far ride. Let's get back in the car and head to Maine. It's always nice to be back home, but I do want to remember my trip to Canada, and so inside your bag you will find some things to help us do that. First, we've got an I Spy of some ultra Canadian icons. We have a recipe for maple muffins. Yum! We have the instructions and things to use to make tabletop hockey. And what we're going to start with is the directions on how to make a Inuksuq out of Legos. Okay, so I've given you a handful of Legos to build your Inuksuq out of. Now, the Inuits needed these, again, because they didn't have maps or printed books or even paved roads to show them where to go. So they could mark using what was nearby that wouldn't blow away, which would be rocks. So they made these big rock structures to point out good hunting spots, to give directions. And I think if I want this to look like a person, I might need to build it up a few. You don't have to make yours the way I'm making mine. No two Inuksuqs are exactly alike. But I think I'm going to put his arms around here. And then maybe build up a little taller and give him a nice head on top. So that's how I've constructed my Inuksuq. You can obviously put yours together however you'd like. What you want to do, though, is to make it look like it's standing in place of a person, which is what Inuksuq stands for. All right, so I've made my Inuksuq. The next thing I want to do is show you how to play indoor hockey when it's too cold to go outside. So all we need for this is some sort of cookie sheet, whether it's a disposable tin pan one or just a regular cookie sheet you have around the house that has sides on it. It's important that it has sides because you're going to be filling it in with some water. Now on mine, I took some plain white paper and some red tape. You might have washi tape around or painter's tape. You can use permanent magic marker to make lines on the paper that's going to be your hockey rink. But I use tape and I put it down. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, I put the tape down on the paper, then I poured water. It didn't have to be too thick, I just wanted to make sure the whole paper was covered. So there we have our hockey arena. Now we need goal posts. Goal posts. I made this out of a pipe cleaner. So let me show you how to do that. The first thing you need to do is make this straight pipe cleaner into a square. So let's see if I can make four sides. I wanted them to be basically the same length. That's why I folded it into 4 sections. So now I've made a square, and I'm going to just wrap these ends around each other so it's closed. So once I make the square, I take the top half or the bottom half and I fold it up. I don't want to fold it completely back to meet the other half. I just want it folded up so that I now have hockey goal posts. So, got my hockey goal posts. Might take a little finagling before you get it to stand up the way you want. Okay, now what are we going to use for sticks? Well, I gave you 2 spoons. Some crafters will take popsicle sticks, break one and glue it on so that it has that L shape that a hockey stick has, but I think we're going to do it with these. And then what can you use for a hockey puck? You can use anything. You can use a button, a bottle cap, a Lego, an eraser. I think I'm going to use a Lego because I think it'll slide on the ice easier than the eraser will. So if I were playing this with a friend, one of us has to stay over here, one stays over here. Now you want to guard your goal, but how are you going to score if you're guarding your goal? You've got to brave it out here and try to hit it in. Woo! Oh, I scored on myself. I don't know if I'm really good at offense or really bad at defense, but this is how you make a hockey rink. All right, we've made our nook-sook. We've played some hockey. I've got some muffins to eat, so I'm going to say goodbye. And if I were back in Quebec saying goodbye, I could say bye, or I could say adieu. Either way, thanks Canada, it's been fun. And where are we headed next week? Well, you're going to have to tune in to find out. See you next time.